Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're talking all about gentle parenting. I have been requested to talk about this because this is kind of just how we chose to parent, and I think it's great for so many different reasons. It's great for your kids, it's great for you. Now I'm gonna warn you, it's not easy. I mean, any form of parenting is not easy. Like, I think we all kind of know that. Gentle parenting is definitely not for the faint of hearts. It's hard. It takes a lot of dedication to keep on being very consistent, and it can be frustrating, but I'm going to take you along how we gentle parent, give a little tips and tricks, maybe show like a few examples. And yeah, so let's go ahead and let's get into this video. Okay, so to start out first, I wanted to give like a few references and some things, materials that you can read to understand more if you want to know more about gentle parenting and Montessori. Also, if you guys are new here, hello, my name is Noelle. I do all kinds of minimal mama content here on this channel. We vlog, we do informational parenting videos like this, all kinds of stuff here on this channel, but it's mainly like mommy parenting stuff. I have an Instagram, I'll link it down below. It's houseofharveys_, if you guys want to check us out there for more of the daily kind of stuff I share on, like, you know, live time. Now I wanted to share a few materials with you guys that you can, like, you know, do your own research and understand more, because I'm just going to be covering mainly the basics. But this is a really good book called The Montessori Toddler. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I have been loving this book, and I have been doing kind of like a deep dive here and there when I get a chance to actually sit and read something with two kids. It can be hard to sit and read. I do really like this book. It's a very easy read, and it just gives you a little bit more understanding on Montessori and kind of how to be more of a gentle parent. So these definitely go hand in hand. Another book that is good is There Is No Bad Kids. Love that one too. I've read some from that book, and that really is more of a deep dive into gentle parenting and how toddlers work. This book also explains how toddlers work, and I really like this one because it has a lot of like activities and Montessori living in here and how to change your house into a Montessori home. So I love that book. You guys know I already have to have my coffee here filming any kind of video. The Montessori Toddler book is a great resource for if you're wanting to know more about Montessori, gentle parenting. They all kind of go hand in hand. So yes, check that out, and I'll leave the other book down in the description as well. Gentle parenting is really about letting your kids kind of lead, and you're just there as like a guide. Now you still want to set a lot of guidelines and strict, you know, strict guidelines. You don't want to just let them do what they want to do. Like, that's, you're still a parent. Parenting, you have to be there to set the rules and the boundaries. That's very important. So with gentle parenting, it's kind of just as the title says, it's more gentle. There's no physical like hitting or any kind of physical punishment as well. So you just, no, we restrain from that. Now I'm not like saying if you do that you're a bad person or like we couldn't be friends or whatever. Like, everybody has their own parenting style, and that's totally fine. You do what works for your kids in your home, but we just didn't get good results from there's something in my eye still. We didn't get good results from doing any kind of physical punishment, and honestly yelling doesn't work that well either. So these are the techniques that we have tried and work better for us. So gentle parenting has been, yes, gentle parenting has so many good perks and that have worked for us. And like I said, it's not going to be easy, mama, so don't give up right away. I mean, it takes time and consistency, just like anything else in the world. But yes, it's not going to be just like an overnight process. It's a lot for you to transition if you were doing some other kind of parenting method into gentle parenting. You really just have to be patient, consistent, and really work with your kid and remind yourself why you're doing it. So statistics show that parents that hit their kids usually don't have the best outcome. Like, okay, for example, here I go into this topic. If you spank your kid and you're telling them not to do something, like, what does that really accomplish? Really nothing. It just kind of tells them if they're doing something bad, they deserve to get hit. And it's just kind of like, you have to remember that kids are little people that are still really trying to figure everything out. Their frontal lobe is not even close to fully developed. they really don't understand what they're doing. They're just trying to figure everything out. So you have to be really patient and gracious and just give them some grace. I'm not saying let them walk all over you by any means. Like I said, I'm going to talk about boundaries, setting boundaries. That's very important because you are the parent and you cannot forget that. So that's very important when it comes to gentle parenting, remembering you're the parent still and not letting them walk all over you. Because when I first heard of gentle parenting, I was like, okay, this sounds like a really, I don't know, just letting your kids do whatever they want. And then as I did more research, I learned that that's not what it is. You definitely need to set boundaries. It's very important. So letting your kids lead the way is also something that is great. Kind of just letting them do the things they normally would do, and you're, like I said, kind of just like a bumper, like a guide. So if you see they're doing something dangerous, you want to automatically still remove them from the situation. So in that way, in that aspect, it is physical. So let's say Noah was heading towards the street, God forbid, and obviously I'm the parent, I need to insert myself and I need to go get him. So what you do is, if you have time, you take him, you gently remove him from the situation, but while you're removing him, you want to tell him, I need to remove you from here, it's dangerous, you can get hurt, and you move him to a new spot. So by doing this, you're letting him know what's going on, why, and you know, it's also kind of a learning, teaching moment as well. And by explaining stuff to him, one, it kind of distracts his mind from like what he was currently doing and makes him kind of think like, okay, okay, mom, you know, gives him a little bit of a distraction, but also just a meaning on why you're telling him not to do something, so they understand just a little bit more. Instead of just telling them, no, don't do that, come here, no, stop. Another thing is you're supposed to avoid the word no as much as possible. Now this one is really hard and I'm still working on it. This takes practice, okay? Because the word no is just so easy to flow out of your mouth. It really is. So when it comes to kids, you're supposed to get on their level. So, you know, they're a little short, so you want to get down on your knees and just explain to them why. If they're having a tantrum, let them feel those big feelings, because those are very important. You're supposed to just guide them through the big feelings, recognize their feelings, like, okay, I see you're upset now, you can't have that toy, but can we go get a different toy? And give them something else. So you always want to recognize and validate their feelings, because they are valid, and a lot of the times kids are just really overreactive because they just don't understand yet and they just have big feelings, and that's okay. So yes, validating their feelings is very important, and you always want to keep their feelings in the forefront, not brush them off, not ignore them, get down to their level, talk to them, identify their feelings with them. Another thing when it comes to validating your kids' feelings is acknowledging their feelings. So I see you're upset right now, but it's gonna be okay, you know, like you just have to, you don't want to just shrug it off, because their feelings do matter, they're valid. You just want to continue to support them and kind of guide them through that like emotional roller coaster that kids often go on, because they are very emotional and always have big feelings. And you know, to them it's a big deal. Something that happens, like they lose a toy or someone takes a toy, it's not a big deal to us, but it's a big deal to them, and you don't want to like water that down or downplay it really by any means. You want to respect and let them feel the feelings and just be their guide and be their emotional support, and just kind of help them acknowledge the feelings that they're feeling and identify them. Okay, so another thing is yelling. Now yelling is also really hard to restrain as a mom, because you can just be frustrated, overwhelmed. I already know all of those feelings. I feel them still all of the time. So gentle parenting is not going to take away all the feelings. Like, you're still going to feel them. You just have to deal with them and kind of channel them in a different way. But overall, if you don't overreact, the situation isn't going to be as bad. Even if you want to explode sometimes, I mean, hey, sometimes it's just, you know, you can't help it. But taking a minute for yourself, like let's say they had an accident or something spilled or something broke, or they're just like acting crazy, just take a minute, take deep breaths, and literally walk away from the situation. As long as they're in a safe environment, just walk away for a second, go in the other room, take a moment, gather yourself, and then deal with the problem if you can't deal with it in that situation. It's better than yelling. Now, I do yell still from time to time. I still do raise my voice, but I'm still working on it. Like I said, this is a process. It's not something that just happens overnight. You really do have to work on it. It's more of a lifestyle choice than it is just, you know, something you do like that. So, yelling is something also you're supposed to kind of just refrain from and reel all of that big feelings in and just kind of channel it and more of an explaining tone to them. So, for instance, my kids right now are in the stage of life where they definitely fight a lot, and you know, sometimes toys are getting thrown at each other or they're just hurting each other. This happens a lot. So I feel like I'm putting out fires all throughout the day, and it can just be so exhausting. So what I do is when they're fighting, especially if it's like physical, I remove them from each other, bring them to like the opposite sides of the room, talk to one, let the other one cool off. And if they're fighting over a toy, I'll do the same thing and I'll give the other kid a different toy, maybe similar to the other one. But I don't let that kid take the toy from the other kid if they were playing with it first, if that makes sense. And as far as hitting goes, if you can stop them in the process of hitting one another, definitely do so. Insert yourself, be that mom, be that parent, because you have to. You still got to be assertive and be the parent. So what I would do is, Noah, you cannot hit Nola, and I even will go over there and hold his hands to himself so he realizes he can't hit. And I tell him, Noah, we cannot hit, that hurts. It's not nice, you know, like that kind of dialogue. You want to be really open, really clear, and really articulate your words so they understand, but you want to talk kind of slower so they can really, you know, understand what you're saying, and you want to repeat it a few times until the action is done, until you get the outcome that you're looking for. So that's what you want to do. You just want to hold their hands if they're getting physical with you or anyone else. Can't let you hit. That's not nice. That hurts. So you want to express why. You always want to express the why they can't, and you know, the feeling kind of behind it, what it makes the other person kind of feel, you know. That's important too. Another thing is you always want to pick your battles. Like, is taking this item away from your kid really worth like the tantrum? You want to try to avoid the tantrums. You want to try to avoid the tantrums as much as possible. When it comes to tantrums, just in general, it's okay to let them feel the big feelings. Just be the person that they can come to if they need support. And it's okay to let them just kind of go have a tantrum if they want, but you just want to let them know that you're there for emotional support if they need you, always. So a little bit on respecting our toddlers. A lot of people believe that just because they're little people and they don't know much, like you don't have to respect them or give them the same kind of respect as you would an adult. That is definitely false. You should definitely give them respect. They are little people that deserve the same respect as an adult. Yes, they need a lot more guidance and a lot more kind of rules set in place. And like I said, don't let them run all over you and just do whatever they want. That's not what gentle parenting is. You just want to make sure you're respecting them and everything that they do, but you still want to be the good like guide along the way and make sure they are safe and doing the right thing, being good to other people, you know, yada yada, that kind of thing. But yes, we want to respect our toddlers. That is definitely a part of gentle parenting, is just respect overall. So again, it's not perfect. It takes work. I don't want you guys to go into this thinking like, oh, like it's not working. You just have to work on it as you go. Just have patience with it. So make sure you're setting firm boundaries, letting them know what's up before things get out of control. That's also something we definitely do. You don't want to let things get out of control and then try to insert yourself in the situation. Transitions. When you're transitioning from one thing to another, this can also be like a more stressful situation. Like, let's say Noah and Nola are playing here in the playroom and I need them to go take a bath. You want to give them kind of like a time limit and set like a timer on your phone, and when it goes off, then they understand that it's bath time now, and the transition is a lot smoother going transition is a lot smoother going into the next thing that you need them to do. So set a timer, let it be known you have 5 minutes to play in here before we need to go take a bath. So letting your kids know what's gonna happen before it happens, just giving them a time period of knowing like when a transition is about to happen will make it a lot easier, and you won't have nearly as many tantrums when it's time to transition into something else, because you're giving them a warning and they are kind of understanding that that time period is coming to an end before we need to do something else. So children are very sensitive to emotion. So another part, you just want to stay as cool, calm, and collective as you can. That's why I say if you need a moment to go have your moment kind of away from them so they don't feel like anxiety, because kids can totally feel that, and you just want to stay calm and collective as much as you can, just, you know, to stabilize their emotional, you know, their emotional line, because kids are very emotional and sensitive to emotion. It can be so overwhelming as a mom to try and change up your parenting style, but just give this a try and see if it works. I mean, it's different things work for different people, but I really do believe getting on their level and kind of explaining to them the why they can't do something, or being a little bit more gentle and graceful with them, because they are still such little people that are coming into their own, and just being a little more graceful with them because they're just learning life. They're just getting into, you know, how things work, not even close. They're just babies still. So that's my take on gentle parenting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's probably a shorter video, but I just wanted to share my little tips and tricks on how we do that. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Also, leave your gentle parenting tips and tricks down below. I absolutely would love to know, because I'm still working on it as we go. And, you know, it doesn't hurt to learn something else from someone else. I love to learn from you guys. You guys are amazing and always give me good feedback and advice. Moms supporting moms, and I love that. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Bye. you.